His wife is 10 years old? So ever since discovering Super Lovers and having to do that, research, for some reason, all over my For You page is now covered in BLs, step-sibling relationships. It's like, bro, look. Don't look at me crazy, okay? It showed up on its own, okay? And by its own, I'm talking about this anime called If My Wife Becomes an Elementary Student. Yeah, you heard right, bro. Hey, you don't look happy. Turn around. So me being the upstanding citizen that I am, I decided to sacrifice my dignity for your entertainment. So you're welcome. So take this time to actually subscribe, okay? Because after reading this title, I feel as though I need to dial 911, okay? Just saying. You have to understand my way of thinking. Like, dang, okay, here we go again type of deal. But one thing I will admit, this anime took me on a roller coaster, and surprisingly, not in a bad way. And before you be like, what are you talking about? Let me just say one thing, okay? Let me just say one thing. This anime is filled with heartache, family, and actual growth, okay? So with that being said, let's dive in. Keisuke is a salesman who wasn't getting his fair share of a good life until he meets Takai, who shares her bento with him, causing unforeseen feelings to emerge. This causes Keisuke to take upon himself to make the first move. La 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 la, true love is bloomed. Something you'll never experience. While I, on the other hand, will find mine, though it's taking kind of long, and it's probably because I'm always at home eating ramen. And when I do meet people, I barely say a word and just stare. Man, I need to get a life. Anyways, so love was in the air, and from here on, they got married, had a kid named Me. They were able to create a future together, and it was honestly beautiful. Nah, they too happy. What? Yeah, they're too happy. What are you saying? Yeah, they gotta go. What are you talking about, bro? Why are you grinning like that? Stop playing. Stop. Yeah, they gotta go. Bro, what? Yeah, she died. Time came to a halt after the death of Takai. 10 years ended up passing by, with them still living in the same house. Life honestly seemed as though it was too bland to even comprehend. Until one day, the doorbell rings, and standing there is a little girl claiming to be his dead wife. Upon seeing this, Kazuki does what any reasonable person would have done. Get out of here! So let me stop playing. Okay, sadly that didn't happen. The guy ends up explaining that she was reincarnated and that just recently she got her memories back while passing by the house. And upon seeing her family in shambles, she took it upon herself to try to fix things. Which, honestly, I can't even blame her, because if my grandma saw me right now, she will look at me in disgust, okay? I'm just saying, okay? Look, grandma, okay? I'm gonna clean my room, okay? It's just taking time. So Takai takes it upon herself to fix her family after seeing as it turned into basically a shit show, okay? Hey, daughter, get a life. Hey, husband, move the freak on. While dealing with all of this, Takai has to also navigate elementary school given her circumstances, while also dealing with her parents having a divorce and is now a product of an abusive mom. And what I mean by abusive, not just physically, but also mentally too. You know, the whole "you'll never amount to anything" type of abuse. Yeah, it's pretty bad, not gonna lie. And given the whole story plot and everything, I'll be honest with y'all, it was actually really touching. Watching Me grow out of her shell and seeing Kazuki learn to move forward was surprisingly emotional. Plus, they tackled heavy topics regarding abuse and becoming a product of it, which brings in a lot of tension to the story. It's dark, but it's also handled in a way that feels honestly real. For example, Keisuke, absolute mess. Like, this guy was going through a lot, and not gonna lie, you can see it in the way he was going about himself. Really, he relied so much on Takai when she was alive that when she died, he just gave up on being a dad completely. It's frustrating, honestly, but it makes sense. Watching him grow into a better father after reconnecting with Takai is one of the most satisfying arcs I've seen in a while. And Mai, she starts off cold and closed off because her dad's neglect left her emotionally stunted. But with her mom back in her life, she slowly starts to open up. And it was actually very wholesome in itself, given the fact that her mom's in a 10-year-old body. But other than that, it was okay. Then there's Chika, the mother of the little girl Takai is reincarnated into. Her journey was rough. Like, guys, in the beginning of the show, I truly did not like her. Like, I wanted to throw her into a garbage can and like set it on fire. Like, it was like that bad. I'll be honest. But we later learned that growing up, she was also in an abusive household, and she slowly started to mirror her mom's toxic behavior. But because of Takai's influence, it helped slowly break that cycle of abuse. And like slowly after learning more about her history and seeing how she's realizing her own mistake, it actually made me appreciate her as a character even more. Like, of course, I still don't really like the fact that she abused her kid because that's still fucked up. But I appreciate the actual growth. And the show honestly portrays the cycle of abuse in a really realistic way, which I honestly didn't expect from an anime with such a wild title. Like, honestly, guys, this anime actually made me question, what the fuck is this title? Like, what is this? Like, you cannot tell me this is the biggest clickbait I've ever seen. So apparently there was this whole live action K-drama, right, before the anime, and it had a lot of good reviews based off what I've seen with people's reactions. But after hearing about the release of the anime in itself, not many were on board, and by that I mean they were ready to ban this quick, okay, from ever being made. Which, I mean, it's very understandable given the title alone. So real quick, I'm about to give y'all my honest pros and cons of the actual show in itself, alright? Despite its unusual premise, the series delves into themes of grief, healing, and moving on, portraying a heartfelt narrative. The depiction of a family grappling with loss and rediscovering connection adds honestly a new emotional resonance to the story. The protagonist's struggle with loss and dynamics between family members are explored in a touching and realistic way. This complexity adds to the actual show's appeal. While tackling serious themes, the anime incorporates lighthearted moments, making it a bittersweet experience. Like, honestly, guys, surprising, I actually really enjoyed the whole aspect of the actual show in itself with these themes in mind, you know? And the way they kind of portrayed certain characters, I really appreciated it. So now diving into the cons, okay? Honestly, guys, the whole concept of a wife reincarnating as a child is very off-putting in itself in the title alone, all right? Don't get me wrong, I get the whole idea, but at the same time, did it really have to go about this way? Like, genuinely, did it really? Like, this isn't actually inherently bad, other than the moments when Kaseki screams out about how much he loves his wife. Only because during those heartfelt moments, he's saying it to the adult Takaki, but even then, I can't help but see her in the body of the 10-year-old. You know, like, which I say is still hella weird, but I'll look past it for now, you know? But other than that, there are no real weird moments in the actual show other than the title itself. Like, imagine going up to your friends, right, and saying, yeah, I've been really enjoying this anime called If My Wife Becomes an Elementary Student. Like, bro, what? The title alone brings its own implications in a certain audience that enjoys stuff like this. It's not without its flaws, let's be for real. This anime is one of those that challenge you to look beyond its exterior and really look beyond that. Even though it might be hard, guys, you gotta look beyond that. And it's a struggle, don't get me wrong, but you gotta look beyond that in order to discover a surprisingly heartfelt narrative. I was honestly ready to wrap it off entirely because of the wild premise and clickbait title, but somehow it was able to drag me into a emotional roller coaster. That's my honest opinion about the actual anime in itself. Now, with that being said, let me ask you a question. What do y'all think about this? Do y'all feel as though the author was doing too much and they need to take a chill pill? Or do you think there's times when we have to dive deeper in order to figure out the true story behind it? With that being said, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more future content, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.